You're listening to the Telltale Channel. Don't forget to check me out on all social media: Patreon, Twitter, Teespring, and Etsy. All links can be found in the description or on my website, telltaleatheist.com. So the next article I wanted to take a look at, this one is by Hemant Mehta on the Friendly Atheist blog. It was written March 21st. The title is Christian-Owned Hobby Lobby Refuses to Close All Stores During Our Current Situation. I'm being really careful about the words I use here. While all other responsible people have put their life on hold, Hobby Lobby stores are still open in states that will allow it. The chain, owned by the evangelical Green family, is refusing to shut down no matter how much harm they could be creating for their employees and customers. Hobby Lobby is actually renowned for doing really stupid, messed up stuff, so it honestly doesn't surprise me. I'm actually kind of boycotting Hobby Lobby. I've never had a reason to go there anyways, but I'm not going to. Even if I did have a reason to, I wouldn't. According to a letter posted on Reddit sent by CEO David Green to all employees and dated March 19th, everyone is simply told they may have to tighten their belts during this situation. Tighten their belts? I'm not sure what tighten their belts means. Of course, Green won't have to worry about tightening his belt. The billionaire has enough money to pay for the Museum of the Bible and the fake artifacts inside. Oh no, is this what I think it is? Hang on. This is in reference to the Dead Sea Scroll fragments that are forgeries. I'll have to cover that on another video. Basically, the original Dead Sea Scrolls that we found originally are not fake, but there are some newer ones that were found in the 2000s that are forgeries, it was concluded. Anyway, let's continue reading. It's everyone who works for him who stand to suffer. The letter also includes what I assume is meant to be inspiration in the form of a voice that his wife heard in her head. In my family, Barbara is the prayer warrior. Today, that title takes on such a different meaning than I ever imagined before, because we're at war with this latest virus. Trying to watch my words here. In our quiet prayer time this past week, the Lord put on Barbara's heart 3 profound words to remind us that he's in control: guide, guard, and groom. Okay, getting a little weird here. We serve a God who will guide us through this storm, who will guard us as we travel to places never seen before, and who, as a result of this experience, will groom us to be better than we could have ever thought possible before now. I feel like the word groom is probably associated with things that he may not realize, or he wouldn't be using that word if he was aware of its connotations. Let's just continue reading here. Great. Everyone's going to be fine because Barbara had a goddamn dream. The only press release on the store's website regarding the outbreak offers nothing but simple information about how the store is coping with it. More frequent store cleanings. That's about it. Employees who show symptoms will be asked to self-quarantine at home, though there's no mention of people who carry it without showing symptoms, and no mention of whether employees will be on paid leave. Of course they won't be on paid leave. This is America. While the store may be closed in states where governors have mandated it, the chain appears to be open everywhere else, creating the possibility that dozens of people may be shopping there at once. Unlike grocery stores, it's hard to make the case that yarn and glitter are essential products in a time of crisis. Rather than being proactive and safe, they're being reactive and irresponsible. It's not surprising either. This is the same chain that refused to provide comprehensive health insurance for employees that might allow them to obtain birth control. Birth control! Come on, people. This is absolutely disgusting, man. They care about greed and God. They don't care about their employees, and they don't care about the communities their stores are located in. If it spreads because they're not taking proper precautions, at least they'll make a few more bucks in the process. Just disregard the lives that are destroyed by their decision. Hobby Lobby did not respond to a request for comment for this article, nor have they responded to anyone questioning their decision on Facebook. It is so extremely important that you self-quarantine, like the government is recommending and mandating in many cases now. Just look at what's happening to Italy right now. It's so extremely serious that you follow the recommendations. I know it's miserable. I know it's not pleasant. I know nobody is enjoying this. If you go outside and refuse to self-quarantine, People's deaths are on your hands. Seriously, take this very seriously. It's really disappointing to see that Hobby Lobby is doing this, but it's something that I've noticed about this whole situation is the people who are refusing to follow the government's recommendations and orders in some cases all happen to be evangelical extremist Christians of various stripes. I do find it interesting, though, that Jehovah's Witnesses are following the recommendations very, very closely. I find that fascinating. And I'm going to be even more interested when nothing comes of it. This just ends, and Jehovah's Witnesses are just, like, left standing there like, okay, well, I guess the end isn't here. This will end eventually. Whether it ends with 99% of the world catching it or 20% of the world catching it is up to us. But one way or another, it will come to an end eventually. One way or another, things will continue moving. It'll all get back on track eventually. And when that happens, I will be interested to see Jehovah's Witnesses' reaction to it. I don't usually like harassing people. In fact, I don't stand for that at all. I'm just going to leave people alone generally. But I would love to ask a Jehovah's Witness, why don't we make a prediction? Give me a prediction here. Tell me what you think is going to happen, and tell me your percentage of how sure you are this is what's going to happen. Do you think the end is going to come? Let's say you think the end is going to come in the next 3 months, because that's what's happening right now. You know, the world is in flames at the moment. So let's say give it 3 months, and the last day of the last days will be here. Now give me your percentage chance that you think that's the case. 80, 90%, 99%, 100%. Let's write that down on a piece of paper. And in 3 months, let's come back to it. Let's revisit this. We'll pull this piece of paper out. We'll sit down together and we'll talk about how sure you were at that time that this was going to happen and how wrong you were. Now, what other things could you be so extremely sure about that you just so happen to be wrong about also? I would love to sit down with a Jehovah's Witness and talk that through with them, or Mormon, or any kind of evangelical nutcase. But, yeah, generally I just say leave them be.